him running out. Look at him running in the house. Wow. Drop it all, you won't go to jail. They ran around this house. They fucking booked it around here.
Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Don't be seen. No, I don't want to get shot because you're taking video. Look at this. We gotta get out of here.
Wow. And they said being a prepper was crazy. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zukradowski here of WeAreChange.org, and we have a plethora of absolutely crazy news to get into today that's happening all over the world, especially, of course, domestically here inside of the United States. But in this video particularly, we want to talk about what's happening in Ukraine, with that country now officially aligning themselves with the World Economic Forum. What's really going on here? We're going to be explaining that, plus a lot more, all on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is, of course, one of many crazy videos coming out of Buffalo, New York. Who made those videos? I don't know, but if you guys know who exactly shot them, let me know down in the comment section below, and we, of course, will attribute them to the right source that originally broadcasted them to everywhere. But the situation on the ground in New York is absolutely crazy. Power went out for a few days in some places. People were found dead in the snow. Local police departments are telling everyone to shelter in their own homes, while some people are complaining about a lack of food, while others make do with what they got, or they just go around to your local Family Dollar store and, just kind of help themselves to whatever they want. Now, whether these are crimes of necessity or ones of self-enrichment, well, I guess that's personally determined by your own perception of our current reality right now. All of this as the military, police, and National Guard in Buffalo are now enforcing a driving ban, specifically telling people to shelter in place. This as the New York governor there has just declared a state of emergency as the situation becomes more desperate and drastic for some, while others it's an opportunity to get themselves a television.
Ain't no AC. You think so? You on here? You entertained? You having a good time, right with me?
But don't worry, all is well, because the local and federal governments are working together hand in hand on creating a social credit score system that will track, trace, and database every innocent human being on the face of this earth. Yes, this as the New York City mayor that loves to party, Mayor Eric Adams, just responded to criticism over him using the latest artificial intelligence facial recognition technology in New York City by literally responding to criticisms of it by saying, quote, "Big Brother is protecting you." Yes, I'm not kidding you. That's his actual response. That's his actual words. This as New York State is becoming more of a surveillance state that is going after and punishing people for their political ideology rather than the actual crimes that they have been committing. All of this as politicians in Washington, D.C. were just ordered to delete TikTok off of their cell phones. Yes, you heard that correctly. TikTok, a social media platform that is owned and operated by the Chinese, has now been officially banned on devices issued by U.S. House of Representatives. This, as of course the Chinese-owned social media video app, is of course not only ruining American children with their algorithm, but also spying on every little thing that people do, getting very intimate personal details about them, just like, most other big tech social media companies here in the United States that, of course, do all the work and bidding for the U.S. intelligence agencies. Now that, of course, the Chinese government is involved here, that's a big no-no, but the American government spying and tracking and watching every one of your moves, also creating an algorithm that promotes debauchery and the destruction of the family unit while pushing a larger divide and conquer depopulation agenda, that's fine. That's A-okay. That's totally cool, but it's only as long as the intelligence agencies here do it and not foreign intelligence agencies, because it's not like they serve the same kind of special interests. And again, a lot of this has been openly discovered and finally proven because of Elon Musk, which we're going to be talking about later on today on LukeUncensored.com, our very own platform where we get to say and do whatever we want. There's a new Twitter file that we're going to be talking about specifically on our own broadcast, on our own platform where we have a lot of members. We also have a forum where you get to meet like-minded members. We have lots and lots of people there sharing secrets, talking to each other, talking about solutions, coming together, meeting like-minded individuals, finding each other in your local communities. These people know, are active and engaged and invested in trying to be the best versions of themselves as I make sure I curate the best content for the best conversations and the best solutions that sadly we cannot discuss here on that platform. For that more advanced conversation, you have to sign up to LukeUncensored.com. And if you have been signed up, by the way, with PayPal, make sure that you physically remove yourself from PayPal and you sign up to our alternative. We're working on a second alternative as we're speaking right now, but PayPal has just announced that in the next coming days, they will be canceling all of our memberships. And we have a lot of members that, of course, have been enrolled, have been locked in, now have to manually, this is according to PayPal and their new rules, re-sign up again to the platform as they're going to be officially canceled by PayPal. Screw you, PayPal, for doing this to us. You're absolutely evil, and we're going to make sure that they don't sign up back to you. We're going to make sure that they sign up to your competitors. We're going to make sure that there's going to be a second alternative competitor out there in the market that we're going to be working with that's going to kick your butt, because it's absolutely disgusting to see this larger attack on our main source of income. And, you got to share the word. You got to re-sign up again. It's more important than ever. We can't let these people win. We're in desperate times, call for desperate situations. So if you haven't signed up yet, even if you are signed up yet, make sure you sign up with our alternative on Stripe. And because you do, this is what keeps our independent media organization up and running. Now, so yeah, that happened. That was announced right before Christmas. Thank you, PayPal. Appreciate it very much. But anyway, let's talk about the main focus of our story right now, and that, of course, is what is happening with the World Economic Forum and Ukraine. This says, of course, there's a lot of propaganda. There's a lot of disinformation out there. Right now, there's also a lot of photos going around that are being just manipulated. There's one photo showing allegedly of a young 8-year-old boy that was attacked by Russian artillery in Ukraine, and we're finding out that it's actually an old photo that's being used for propaganda purposes today. An old photo from 2013 showing you just how highly charged and emotional disinformation could be in order to activate their true propaganda purposes. There's propaganda like this from both sides of this larger conflict, but now steps in the World Economic Forum, a globalist confab of a lot of very powerful individuals that want to create a total society where they have total control over everyone and their lives. This, as just moments ago, Elon Musk even clarified on Twitter that he was personally invited to the World Economic Forum and he personally declined. This, as a lot of people have been skeptical of him being previously named a young global leader for the World Economic Forum. But one person who is openly accepting the World Economic Forum offer to join them is, of course, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. That said, his government is now preparing to participate in the Davos Forum next month, officially with Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum. Now, of course, this has a lot of significant ramifications that I specifically wanted to talk about here in this video, as this is not the first official partnership by Ukraine and the World Economic Forum, as previously they also worked very closely with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, as of course the Bank of Ukraine and World Economic Forum were officially aligned and working with this larger scam organization that was moving billions of dollars, defrauding and stealing billions of dollars from customers, innocent law-abiding citizens, and of course giving them to corrupted politicians. Now, of course, Ukraine is known for having a lot of corrupted politicians, and it's fair to say that their first unofficial cooperation went off absolutely horribly, as the World Economic Forum has a lot of corruption accusations against it, and alliances with some very seedy, nasty human beings who, of course, don't have the world's best interest at heart. Now, what's going to be Ukraine's official partnership with the World Economic Forum? Well, we're going to find out when they have their annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland, one of the highest towns in all of Europe. So, of course, the globalists could look down on everyone. But when these meetings do come, we, of course, are going to be paying very close attention to who's meeting who and what major decisions are being made there. As, of course, Klaus Schwab, one of the head guys here, is an underling, is a student of Henry Kissinger, and is absolutely implementing many of his globalist policies that, of course, don't work towards the best interest of humanity. Now, why is this officially being declared and announced today? Well, we have to also understand here that the U.S. government just officially announced another additional multi-billion-dollar aid package to Ukraine, which of course comes with a lot of strings attached to it. And when we look at the World Economic Forum, they have influenced many governments, especially when it comes to the Canadian government, the Australian government, the New Zealand government, that has been acting in cooperation with a lot of its major policy goals, which are pushing for a global credit score, a central bank digital currency, and a situation where you will own nothing, be happy, have no privacy, live in a pod, and eat bugs. And no, I'm not being facetious. Those are literal programs implemented by the World Economic Forum that governments are following very close orders with and implementing in their country against the best interest of their people. Klaus Schwab even publicly bragged before how much of an influence he has on governments.
This notion to integrate young leaders is part of the World Economic Forum since many years. And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the world.
That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with the president, with a young global leader.
Yeah, so it's fair to say that Ukraine is getting some new young global leaders, aka puppets of the globalist establishment, that will be using their positions of power in order to, of course, manipulate global situations for their own personal benefit and screw you over. So I think that's just an easier way to translate it. And when we look at this situation and how it's developing, we have to understand that there's going to be greater circumstances to this, especially when it comes to the future of any kind of potential peace in Ukraine, especially when it comes to the major central role that Ukraine will be playing when it comes to the future of not just Europe, but for the world. This, as of course, even BlackRock is getting a seat at the table, as recently the president of Ukraine discussed cooperation efforts with rebuilding Ukraine with, of course, the seedy, big money, Federal Reserve connected, corrupted organization BlackRock, that of course most likely will be getting the most lucrative contracts from an utter disaster that many of their friends in politics created. All of this as Russia is also announcing that they are ready for peace talks, but will their peace talks be met with Ukraine being willing to have them? Well, I think that's only up to, of course, larger organizations like the World Economic Forum, BlackRock, and many other Western leaders to decide, as of course, all that money going to Ukraine is buying a lot of influence. What will they decide when it comes to the future of this conflict? Will they prolong it? Will they expand it? Will Ukraine end up like Sri Lanka, a country that the World Economic Forum praised for their global cooperation but was essentially destroyed by them? Well, I think those are all questions worth asking. This, as of course, the situation in Russia is becoming more drastic. More people are being arrested there for simply trying to even demonstrate against the current conflict there. And with the war escalating and only getting more dangerous for everyone involved, we should start asking the larger questions about who's actually benefiting from all this chaos that people are paying the biggest price for on the face of this earth. A question that I think is worth asking. If you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. It is more imperative. It is more important than ever. I got one more video coming your way on LukeUncensored.com, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys signing up to LukeUncensored.com, sharing this video, and because you guys do, this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.